Hi there, Capricorn. How are you? This is Jen here from Tarot Spirit. I'm doing your January 2018 tarot reading. Ooh. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands, and this page is he's a fire sign. It's a card of messages of new beginnings where you're getting your spark back, your inspiration, your fire back. Your motivation back. It can be a message about a new job, any new hobby something that you're excited about, you're interested in. Excuse me. And I think it's really good because I got to tell you, the two cards you have in the focus um, really show that you're mentally burnt out in January. Maybe 2017 was a pretty challenging year, and maybe you're just sort of done. Like you're mentally done, you're exhausted, you're sick of the conflict, of the arguing, of the mental um mentally thinking about lots of really difficult things that are happening probably in the world and also maybe in your own life. So, but I actually have learned when the Ten of Swords comes out, it's like in January, you're like, I'm done. Like I am not going to allow myself to obsess and worry about things. I'm not going to take on other people's crap. I'm not going to um, I'm not going to engage, because this can be about a card about um, conflict and getting into arguments and things like that. And it's just like and this card is like, I'm done. The 10, it's completed. It's the end of the line. And you're like, I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm not putting myself in that space. It's not what I like. It's interesting. Saturn now is in your sign. And I sort of feel like Saturn, and I'm not an astrologer, so please feel free to correct me or whatever, but this is just sort of my intuition. I think this came up maybe in your overview reading. I feel like Saturn, that's maybe its influence. Saturn's like, hey, wait a minute. You you got a little off. You get a little off there, and I'm coming in to get you back get you back grounded again because I'm Saturn. You like Saturn. I rule you, and I gotcha. I'm here. Let's let go. You maybe got a little bit too much in your mind. Maybe you had some air stuff going on there. Um, it's like let it go. Let it go. Let's calm down and let's focus on things. Let's put your energy into things that you can control, that you're motivated about, that you're inspired about. So instead of worrying about things you have less control, let's focus on you. Let's focus on getting your energy back and and getting grounded again. The Wheel of Fortune in the recent past, that is saying there's a lot of stuff going on around you. You felt like, and it's very hard to feel in control when there's things that feel a little bit chaotic around you, and you don't really have, the only thing you have control over, right, is yourself. And so you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm not going to get sucked into other people's issues. I'm not going to, like, maybe people were trying to pull you into things that you really couldn't do anything about. And you're just like, you know what? I'm putting up boundaries. I'm done with this. I'm not going to worry about you anymore. I'm going to take care of me. Um, with the Lovers on the top here, it can be like really looking at what commitments people have made and if they're keeping them or not. So putting people who talk a lot but don't really come through, where are you all talk and no action. Where do you spend your time and energy now? And are you honoring your commitments? Are the people you work with honoring their commitments? Are your significant other honoring their commitments? Like what's going on there? And you may need to cut someone out of the swords, cut things away, cut someone out of your life. It's like, you know what? This isn't working. Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to live in the 5 and 10 of swords. It sucks. And the bottom line is we're not committed to each other anymore. We're not committed to this business. We're not committed to this partnership. We're not committed to this relationship anymore. And just by sort of surrendering, by just saying I can't do this anymore, it's really going to give you, I mean, fives make things uncomfortable. Like we can become complacent, and the 5 is like a stone in your shoe, and you have to stop and get it out. You have to. I mean, you just can't ignore it, even though it's just a small little pebble. So that's what's it's like something has made things a little bit uncomfortable where you're like, I have to stop. I have to stop. I have to stop and get this out of my shoe. I have to stop, and I'm not going to do something anymore. You have this really beautiful King of Cups coming in now, and he's just honest about his feelings. He isn't reactionary. In his reverse he would be, but this is acknowledging that, you know what, I'm not feeling it anymore. Like, this isn't working for me anymore, and being honest about your feelings, other people's feelings, and really just speaking from the heart. So I feel like you hadn't been speaking up before. Is that a word? Hadn't? It sounds wrong. You're going to voice your feelings about things. Like, I can't continue the way things are. We need to renegotiate. We need to look at things differently. I need a new job. I can't fight anymore. We have to do something differently. I can't be in an atmosphere of with this conflict around me. It's not healthy for me. And so I'm going to take steps to change it. So we have a couple overall cards. The 4 of Swords and the 5 of Shields. This is even like maybe some money troubles, some money concerns. I feel like you kind of let something go on and you're like, I've let this go on too long. I need to put my foot down. What's happening right now is not sustainable, and I need to speak up. I need to say something. I need to put an end to it. So you just kind of feel drained. It's called the Wasteland. I remember getting this card. I got a tarot reading like 17 years ago, and I was in a relationship. Well, it's a long story. You don't want to hear it, but I got this card, and it was so true. I was like I was having a wasteland moment. But again, it's a 5. You got to be better with your money. You've got to stop having a poverty mentality. You've got to. It's just rubbing you the wrong way. It's just abrasive enough that, it's like a blister in your shoe. Like you have to attend to it. And the 4 of Swords it's like you get that you have this mental, negative mental things happening. And then you get to the 4 of Swords and it's like meditation, a break, a timeout, peace. Like you train your mind to stop running on that hamster wheel of obsessing and worrying and negativity. And you're just like peaceful. You speak up, you put an end to it. You're taking a break and you're figuring things out. So I feel like if you're coming into January with a lot of sort of stress. And by the end, you've really you've spoken up. You've really assessed things, and you're like, I need to get my energy back. I need to get my peace back, my peace of mind back in some area. And so you're going to speak up. You're going to really look at where things are working and where they aren't. And you're going to, just have to stop and take that stone out of your shoe, so you can move on and things um, aren't so difficult. But I think it's really because you're just gonna open up from the heart and just have a heart to heart about it with whomever you need to, and maybe it's with yourself. Like, hey, you can't keep worrying about everything. You have to learn, to get more grounded and not take on other energies. Like, some of you may be empaths and really need to work on protecting yourselves, especially when things, um, in the world in general are pretty polarized and stressful. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely January. It looks like it's going to end you feeling much more at peace, and getting some spark back, having some energy to do some fun things. Okay, take care.